Welcome back to the Danger Ranger podcast. I am your host, Zach Allred, and it's been a minute since we've been in here and we posted. Been a while since I've uploaded. Gonna try and get back on a more consistent schedule here. It's just been pretty crazy. I moved, hence the new location. Moved, and then have been busy helping start up this company with some of my buddies, and a lot of my time has just been taken up by that. So, gonna get back on a weekly upload, at least for the podcast, and then the lethality series will continue. It's kind of gonna become the running joke of when is Battle Drill 6 dropping. It's gonna happen. You just need to wait and be patient. I promise it's gonna happen. Like I said in the last podcast I did, where I was out in the woods, out doing kettlebells and stuff, it's hard to approach it with an angle that hasn't been done before, without giving away too much sauce. I mean, it is a concern, because it's like, these are the stuff that my buddies are still using while they're in, I don't want to be giving away too much sauce. So it's going to be primarily not plain Jane basic CQB. It's going to be, a little bit more nuanced with, some axioms and some good stuff that I've picked up that won't, put any of my buddies at risk. Like, that's the last thing I want to do at the end of the day, which is why we'll never see, a modern day raid video, for example. Like, I did the Ranger School raid video. That's fine. It's, it's open source, but like, I'm not going to ever go into modern day raids. Like, there's just too much sauce in there to reveal for people. Unfortunately, I don't want to get hemmed up. I don't want any of my buddies getting freaking waxed overseas because some fucking shithead in some other country watched a video of mine and was like, oh, I know how they're going to come for me now, and I know how to prepare. So maybe one day, but it's unlikely. Anyways, yeah, we're just going to hang out here. This is going to be a quick episode. I've been watching the Sean Ryan show as of late, and currently working through the episode with Eric Prince, who, for those who don't know, is the founder of Blackwater, the PMC, private military corporation, or company, private military company, and not in our circles, everyone thinks Blackwater is pretty fucking based, and kind of the circles on YouTube that I'm probably falling into, recommended videos and why and such, and it's just interesting to hear, because I've read the the news stories a few years ago, about how they kind of got fined into oblivion. But actually hearing his side of the events, it makes a lot more sense. Never trust anything that comes out of a reporter's mouth and all. But really liking the Sean Ryan show. Last week I kind of dove deep into the alien side of things on that, with James Greer and all those folks, the whistleblowers and such that have come out to Congress talking about super black projects. Just incredible amounts of money being poured into these by Raytheon, Lockheed, just kind of corruption in this. I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of undecided on whether it's legit or not, or whether it's something we need to be worried about. But it is quite interesting to hear about some of the stuff that James Greer is talking about. And, the big thing with that, and the reason why I'm hoping it's credible, is he's claiming to have 10 terabytes of whistleblower information and documentation regarding alien tech and all this stuff that he's planning on releasing openly, open source via blockchain technology or something, is what he was saying. So maybe when that comes out, I'll be able to have a more defined opinion one way or the other. But yeah, no, the new place is nice. It's probably more space than I need, to be honest, but I'm kind of in a position where that's all right. First time, not having roommates either, which is interesting as well. I've had a roommate, or I've lived with family my entire life up until this point. So kind of a different adjustment to make, and I just have to hold myself more accountable as far as clean up after myself, or getting to bed on time and not staying up late watching YouTube, which is kind of my vice. If I was to say that I had one, would be watching shit on YouTube. Those damn reels, man. I need to get on the reels game. So if there's someone in here that I know how to edit them myself, but it's just the time of going through and chopping up each reel into usable clips that are actually entertaining and engaging. Let me know. Let me know if that's something you want. I'm gonna create a Google Drive of I'm going to download all my videos off YouTube or podcasts specifically off of YouTube and put them into a folder in preparation for an editor one day. It's not just going to be me editing this, forever, especially once I get like 3 different camera angles and, actual mic setups and stuff that aren't recording directly to the camera. That's going to be a little more complicated and something that I will probably outsource. So, I've got several buddies or family members that are pretty good editors, so I don't think I'll be needing too much outside help, at least initially. But yeah, that's kind of the direction. I want to get more in-person guests, so I'm going to be looking at, trying to find dudes in Utah who, military or Ranger. My buddy Brock might end up being the first. He was in the shooting video back in February, I think is when we filmed it when it was snowy. The CQM call video that I redid. He's local. He's actually almost my neighbor at this point. He lives like 10 minutes away from me. But he would be a very easy guest to get on. So he might end up being the first guest, just because it'll be a good trial run for when we have maybe not saying he's not important, but maybe, more prestigious guests out there. But I was on the Ranger Blueprint Discord the other night, just in the voice chat. So, just hanging out with the guys, bullshitting, telling stories that I haven't told on podcasts and stuff. So if you're planning on joining the regiment at some point, whether you're 16, 17 or, already in the Army, for example, if you're planning on joining, go check out the Ranger Blueprint. It's run by my buddy Pierce Kakizi, and it's a very, very solid resource, not only for, networking inside the Discord, which is also, free to join. I'll put a link down in the bio, or the description rather, not link in bio, link in description, to join the Discord is free. There's some resources in the free side, and then you should end up buying at least the base Ranger Blueprint program. Phenomenal information. Pierce did a really good job. There's not really anything else like it out there for Rangers, that encompasses more than just physical. It's like, breathing, mental practices that'll help you keep you from quitting. A whole vast library of information that will work for RASP or, the Ranger pipeline, but also pretty much any other ruck-based selection pipeline. So SFAS would work for buds probably. I don't think there's any swimming in the actual blueprint, but ruck-based selections, Ranger Blueprint is what you want, what you need. And I'm in there, answering questions. A little easier to get a hold of me on there. I've been bad about checking my Instagram DMs as of late, but oh well. So what other, I'm in there. I'm probably going to do the voice chats more often. It's kind of like an impromptu, little podcast, if you will. But get in there, check it out. Another thing I've been kind of doing too, I've still been taking coaching calls. So if you didn't know, I have a coaching offer, one-on-one coaching call with me. I've had several people book that out, and several people, have done multiple calls with me. It's just more personalized advice. You're able to tell me more, and I'm able to, speak to you face to face over Zoom. And it does cost money. I will say that. However, I can't just have it, free for everyone, because then I would get inundated by, just a bunch of people who weren't very serious. It's like, if you're serious about talking to me, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. It's not a whole lot. I think it's like $39 for an hour of my time, which my time is probably more valuable at this point than $39 an hour, for being honest. So I'll probably end up upping the price here in the near future. If you're wanting to talk to me one-on-one about, Army shit, like, anything that I've covered in the podcast, to, just general life stuff, man. Like, if you need, if you vibe with me and you want to just, get my opinion on shit, like, fucking book a call, man. Like, I'm more than happy to hang out and talk with you. So that's kind of the other thing I've got going on. A lot of people say that they didn't know about it, so I'm talking about it here. People have just kind of went through my descriptions on my videos and seen the link and book calls. So do it if you want. Do it if you need some advice. A lot of guys coming to me with, oh, should I be a SEAL or a Ranger? I've had, I think, 3 different calls the guys been considering both. Like, they either most of them end up, you know, grow up wanting to be a SEAL, and then they kind of learn more. Or, you know, sometimes they've found my videos, or, you know, they've seen the regiment recruiting pages on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff, because our PAO team in the regiment is pretty dang good. We know how to make some good videos, and then plenty of y'all out there make some edits, to include myself, of those videos, which, you know, those are sick. Freaking love Ranger edits. That's one of my other pastimes, is when I'm hanging out with the homies and, you know, we're having a few beers. Once I get past a certain point of drunk, it's like, oh, we're gonna get nostalgic and sad, and we're gonna put on Ranger videos. But yeah, another really solid Sean Ryan. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll get to go on the Sean Ryan podcast. I don't know. Maybe you guys can fucking bug him in Instagram comments or something. But that would be really cool, even though I don't have as many cool stories probably as some of the other guests that he's brought on. But it would be cool to go on his show, I think, one day. One of the ones I was watching is who's a former Ranger with 275, and then he went on to Delta, Tyler Gray. And it was like probably 5 hours worth of content with him, and maybe an hour of that was talking about military. A lot of it was like talking about how he got into the military, which very closely mirrored kind of how I ended up joining. One of my older videos back when I first started the channel, when I was doing the old video a day challenge in September, where I talked about how I grew up, you know, organizing the neighborhood kids into freaking, you know, squads, and freaking doing clandestine missions on camping outings and all that stuff. And he had a very similar childhood. I'm like, there's definitely some kind of, I think, genetic material that's kind of in some guys that make them definitely more predisposed to the career of, you know, a warfighter. I hate using the term warfighter, but like special operations, or, you know, infantry, of actual, you know, kind of the combat MOS side of things. Like there's definitely some kind of genetic value to that. But very good podcast. He talks about life after the military and his transition period, because he got blown up in Iraq, and I can't remember if it was like 07 or 08. Almost lost his right arm, and hearing his story about how many surgeries he had to have and just how dark it was, and his analysis on the whole transition from military to civilian side of how you go through the loss of, you know, your job, you know, you end up moving, the loss of your network, the loss of your identity is the biggest one. And I think that's what a lot of dudes, including myself, kind of struggle with, is going on and finding something is defining or important out in the civilian world, as, you know, being in the military was, especially, you know. And he specifically was talking about, you know, combat arms kind of MOSs, you know, like it's easy. I would say it's easier for guys who don't have that exact type of bond. You know, if you're in the medical corps, maybe if you know, work just in a hospital on base, or you work in the motor pool, you're a mechanic, you're working, maybe if you deploy, you're on a fob the whole time, like you're not going out and doing missions, like you're not as close with those boys as you would be the guys that you get on a helicopter with at freaking, you know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night and go raid a compound. Like people always, there's memes on Instagram. I can't remember the dude's name. You've probably seen him, where he talks about, oh yeah, we're like best of friends. And he basically just says that basically the reason why you're so good friends is because of trauma bonding. Like you're going through, you know, really shitty situations together, and you trauma bond, which is completely accurate, I would say, for most people, and again, combat arms specifically. But I digress. So, future of the channel, in-person podcasts, you know, better production quality. You'll see I used it in other videos, but actual nice mics. I'm getting switched over to iPhone gang. My iPhone's in the mail. So I'll be shooting on that, on one of the 14, I think the 14 Pro is what I'm getting. And production quality is, you know, always something that I care about. You know, it's not as important when you're starting out. The intent is to start out and just start putting content out, right? Like, forget about being perfect, because it's not going to be perfect. at least at first. And then it's like, all right, again, I think I've talked about this, but getting to the point where I'm at, 5,000 subscribers, which isn't a whole lot, but it's like they deserve, and y'all deserve, a better level of quality from me. And that's kind of what I want to do, in between just balancing out this new opportunity that I'm helping grow with with my buddies, and the events that we're going to be doing. We got stuff coming up in September and October, and pretty excited about it. We're hitting a go-kart course in Utah here later this week, and that's going to be fun. I'll probably post some stuff on my Instagram about that. So 3 things: if you're not fucking subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Most everyone here is subscribed, actually. It's only the videos that do kind of pop off where it's most of y'all aren't subscribed. But most of you guys watching this are subscribed, so I thank you. If you're not subscribed, if you're wanting to be a ranger, go check out the Ranger Blueprint. Watch my video with Pierce. Is what's going to get you there. Like, between that and, my content, like, we kind of mesh pretty good, because it's like mine's like all knowledge kind of based stuff, and his is like more individualized, like mentally and physically preparing, right? Great stuff. Go check it out. Join the Discord at least. Again, I hop in there every now and then on voice chat and just hang out. So, and then last but not least, go follow my Instagram if you're not already. Going to be posting a lot more on there. If you enjoy seeing, vlog style or, just day-to-day lifestyle content, posting on there semi-frequently. And then if you want a coaching call, if you want one-on-one, interaction with me, that link is also going to be in the description below. If you're trying to make the decision about whether to join or not, or if you are, like I said, just if you want to just talk to me, like freaking, I'm not going to, do it for free just because I would get not everyone, but I'd have a lot more people doing it. And it's not something that's tenable for me right now. But, very small price to pay, I would say, if you want to talk to me. So that's available. And going out camping this weekend to the desert. That's why I have this gun sitting next to me. I built it out for this trip specifically. And I'll be trying to film content. I don't know if my phone will enjoy the heat. But I'll be going out with my buddy, like I said, and should have a pretty fun video, I think, Monday or Tuesday of next week. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back and supporting the channel. Like the video too, if you will. People always say, "Oh, it helps me out." It's like, no, it actually does. Like, I don't make a whole bunch of money off YouTube, but liking the video shows that, hey, I watched it, and this is something that YouTube should show, like the algorithm should show to other people. So that's kind of how we're growing here. So that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and we will talk to you in the near future. See ya.